With increasing diagnoses in both adults and children, neurodiversity is a hot topic at the moment. Through her podcast, No Such Thing as Normal, Sonia Gray has been exploring it. Season 3 of the podcast has just launched, the first episode tackling ADHD medication. Have a listen.
What about inside your brain? How's it feeling? And how does it feel?
Like a roller coaster. Like a roller coaster. And it's going ooh, ooh, wee, in circles and circles and up and down.
The medication helps calm the roller coaster. But that decision 5 years ago to try medication, it wasn't an easy one for Tilly's mum, Bex.
It's a scary thing as a parent to put your very young child on medication.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
So when she first got diagnosed and the psychiatrist said about medication, like a lot of parents, I said, no way. And he said, you're probably going to come back. They always do.
Sonia Gray, podcast host, No Such Thing as Normal, is with me at the desk this morning. Sonia, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Great, thanks for having me.
And we were just listening to some of the new season. It's a big call to, well, once you're diagnosed, is it a big call to go on medication? Like, is that something that, you know, you're desperate for, I guess?
Well, it depends, and you don't have to go on medication. Like, that's just part of a possible treatment plan. But I think the reason I did that episode and did it first is that it's a real worry for parents. I mean, there's so much stigma around ADHD medication going back, you know, to the 80s, you know, Ritalin is bad. And so the idea of putting your little child on medication is not, you know, it's not an easy decision to come to. So I wanted to do an episode that just explored the facts, took apart, you know, looked at the stigma and looked at the safety. Like, is it safe? And I don't want to be a spoiler, but it's a pretty safe medication.
And if you need to be on something like that, then better that you're on it than, you know, I imagine it's not something you would want to take if you didn't need it, but if you need it, then 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I take ADHD medication. For me, it's been a real game changer. It makes me feel more myself. I think that one of the worries is it'll change people's personalities, and for me, it just cleared the chaos. You know, I think what people don't understand about ADHD is our minds are just chaotic all the time. Even if you don't see it outwardly, there's a lot going on. Our internal filing systems don't work in the same way as everyone else's do. So to have some support with that is really helpful.
Sonia, how do you know whether you're not just stressed and overwhelmed versus actually have ADHD?
Yeah, it's really hard in today's world when we have all these distractions and all this input coming in. You know, everyone probably feels a little bit ADHD, but I guess it's the level of impairment, how much. And of course, you then go to a specialist and there's, you know, you should have a very thorough assessment. So there's all this sort of, you know, everyone's got ADHD these days. They don't, obviously.
Yeah.
And the fact is, yes, more people are being diagnosed because the awareness has grown, but we're still very underdiagnosed in this country. There's still probably half or more of people walking around thinking they're broken when in fact their brains just work differently.
And yet there are people who I've spoken to the neurodiverse community before about this. They'd say there are people out there who sort of on TikTok will claim that they have it when they don't.
Yeah,
you know, there is a little bit of that going on.
Yeah, and that's one of the other reasons I think I started doing this podcast. This is the third season, so because there is so much misinformation out there, and I really try hard to just get the latest research. I read a lot of academic papers and just, you know, get the truth. And it's difficult because neurodiversity as a whole is it's different for everyone. You know, I can't say that me with ADHD is going to be the same as Tilly, who you heard. You know, it looks very different and feels very different in everyone. And that's the case with neurodiversity across the board.
Great to see you this morning, Sonia. Thanks so much for coming in, and can't wait to check out the latest season. Sonia Gray, podcast host, No Such Thing as Normal. You can catch season 3 of No Such Thing as Normal weekly on the iHeart app or wherever you get your podcasts.